Friends, for today's episode, let's skip the candlestick charts for a moment. Instead, let's talk about the two most powerful men in Silicon Valley. If you've turned on any financial channel lately, you've probably seen the same scene over and over again. Jensen Huang, the leather-jacketed godfather of AI, standing at the center of the world. NVIDIA's market cap has blown past $4.5 trillion. Wherever he goes, there are red carpets and screaming fans. Even giants like Zuckerberg and Nadella are lining up to buy his GPUs. He represents the absolute victory of AI's first half, the cloud-side frenzy. The romance of ChatGPT, writing poems and painting pictures. But if you move the camera just slightly to the side, you'll notice another man standing in the shadows. Elon Musk. Compared to Jensen's spotlight, the past few years for Musk have been nothing short of hell mode. When Wall Street elites talk about AI over drinks, they don't even include him anymore. They say, "Oh, Musk, that guy who builds electric cars." Basically, a contractor. The former tech Iron Man got kicked out of the Magnificent Seven group chat. A stock that once traded above $400 got cut in half, and then cut in half again. Even OpenAI, the company he helped found with his own hands, has become his courtroom enemy. This is what winner takes all really looks like. Over the past 4 years, the capital markets slapped a massive label on Musk. Washed up. People said he was old, that FSD was forever just a PowerPoint dream, that his barely walking humanoid robots were a joke. But friends, never underestimate a madman with his back against the wall. While Jensen Huang was telling interviewers that entrepreneurship is full of pain, Musk said nothing. He was busy inside his Texas gigafactory, doing something that would send a chill down Jensen's spine. And this week, a signal flare finally went up, quietly, almost ignored, the AI-5 chip. This isn't just a chip. It's the sword of revenge Musk has been forging for himself. With this sword, he plans to pierce the wall that's been crushing him for 4 straight years. The wall called $500. Some people might think I'm just making excuses for Musk or telling a dramatic story. So let's look at what the coldest, most ruthless money is actually doing. This week, a core figure at Wall Street's top technical research firm, Fundstrat, Mark Newton, dropped a research note that made every short seller's heart skip a beat. If you know Mark Newton, you know he's not a storyteller. He doesn't believe narratives. He believes in what the charts tell him about institutional intent. Pointing at Tesla's K-line, the same one that's driven retail investors to despair. He said, "You see a collapse, I see hope." What he found was unsettling. Over the past 4 years, the same 4 years Musk was being mocked by the world, Tesla's stock was quietly doing something terrifying, a purge. Every crash down toward $100, every failed rally, every brutal pullback wasn't chaos. It was Musk helping the market run an IQ test. Anyone who only saw Tesla as a car stock got flushed out. What remained were funds that understood Musk's ambition in the physical world. Mark Newton delivered a shocking conclusion. Tesla is now standing at the edge of a historic moment. That $500 level, the one that crushed countless investors, is about to be smashed by Musk himself. And once it breaks, $500 won't just be breached. It will chemically transform from a ceiling into a floor you'll never see again for the next decade. Why is Mark willing to bet this hard? Because he understands the card Musk hasn't played yet. This has nothing to do with selling more cars. It's about redefining what a computer is. What exactly is Musk doing? He's attempting something even Jensen Huang wouldn't dare try lightly. On Twitter, Musk casually dropped a line. "Our goal is to complete the AI-5 chip design in 9 months. Most people don't grasp what 9 months means. In the chip industry, that's called a suicide march. Even Nvidia needs 18 to 24 months to iterate a flagship chip. Musk wants to cut that time in half. What does that tell us? It means Musk is done playing the toothpaste squeeze game. Tiny annual upgrades, incremental progress. He's forcing an illegal acceleration, dragging Tesla out of the car manufacturer seat, slamming it onto the AI throne. In the next 20 minutes, we're not treating you like a spectator. We're taking you inside Musk's war room. We're going to dissect Fundstrat's priceless 2026 battle map, month by month. Which month is bait? Which month is the real attack? At the same time, we're opening up the AI-5 chip itself. What secrets does it hide? Why do I say that after Jensen conquered the cloud, Musk is using this chip to conquer the entire physical world. Ready? Because the real show is just getting started. We said Jensen Huang is standing under the spotlight. And that's not an exaggeration. Just recently, Nvidia's market cap bulldozed past $4.53 trillion, leaving former tech giants so far behind they can't even see the taillights anymore. And Musk, Tesla, is still pacing back and forth at the $1 trillion doorstep. That $3.5 trillion gap is the most naked chasm separating two eras. Most people look at that gap and feel despair. They think the game is already over. But in the eyes of Fundstrat's head of global strategy, Mark Newton, that gap exposes something else entirely, a crack in consensus. What does that mean? Think back over the past few years. Whenever Musk's name came up at a Wall Street dinner table, what was the dominant tone? He's distracted. Buying Twitter was self-destruction. FSD is always coming next year. That became the arrogant consensus of the last 4 years. But beneath that noise, Mark Newton noticed something else. Tesla's suffocating, multi-year sideways grind. What retail investors experienced as pure torture, he defined as an extremely rare constructive structure. Sounds academic, right? Let's translate it into human language. If Nvidia's rally was a party, then Tesla's past 4 years were monastic training. During those years, Musk wasn't just refining FSD algorithms, he was purifying his shareholder base. Anyone chasing quick money, anyone with no belief in physical AI, anyone jealous of NVIDIA's chart, they cursed, sold, and walked away. So where did the shares go? They were quietly picked up, one by smart money that understood Musk's ambition and the real intent behind the AI5 strategy. That's why, when Nvidia faces profit-taking pressure at $4.5 trillion, Tesla is finishing a perfect blood transfusion at the bottom. This isn't just a technical win. This is believers defeating gamblers. So where is the first fortress these newly consolidated loyal funds are aiming at? Mark Newton gives a coordinate precise to the dollar. $500. Remember this. In Musk's revenge script, $500 is not just a price. It is a trust Berlin Wall separating cloud AI from physical AI. In the past, every time Tesla approached this level, Wall Street would collectively short it into the ground. Why? Because they didn't believe. They didn't believe you could build robots. They didn't believe cars could drive themselves. So $500 became retail investors' wall of size. But Mark Newton's core argument is simple. This time is different. As the AI5 chip breaks Moore's law, as FSD-V12's end-to-end architecture comes online, the physical nature of that wall is changing. He predicts, once Tesla decisively breaks above $500 in the coming months, this will no longer be a bounce. It will be a phase change. In technical analysis, this is called resistant support flip. I prefer a different name, Wall Street's Pledge of Allegiance. When capital dares to hold above $500, it means institutions have finally bowed to Musk. They admit the madman mocked for 4 years was right. And once you stand there, the ceiling that once crushed your chest instantly becomes a diamond floor beneath your feet. Mark Newton even lays out an aggressive scenario. The next time Tesla breaks $500, you should absolutely not sell. On the contrary, it may be the last chance in your life to buy a ticket to the physical world at a reasonable price. Of course, Musk never lets his supporters win easily. Jensen says, Nvidia's moat is built on pain and suffering. Musk gives his shareholders even more suffering. Based on Tesla's historical behavior, Mark Newton sketches out a brutally psychological 2026 unshaped battle map. Inside this chart lies the full playbook institutions use to harvest retail traders. Act 1. Lightning strike, riding the news, the AI5's design is complete. Musk launches the first charge. The goal is clear. Pierce, $500, maybe sprint, straight to $650. Market sentiment flips instantly from despair to euphoria. Every headline turns bullish. You'll feel the urge to sell your house and go, Elon. Act 2. Spring reversal pay. Attention, this is Musk's specialty. Stress testing, faith. Mark Newton warns of Tesla's historical spring weakness curse. After the first explosive rally, a vicious pullback is highly likely. Back to where? Exactly. Back to $500. That freshly laid diamond floor must undergo a bloody verification. Rumors will fly everywhere. AI 5 is delayed. Demand collapsed again. If your belief isn't absolute, you will be shaken out. This is the final clearing operation, where institutions flush out weak hands for good. Act 3. The King returns. Just when you're congratulating yourself for escaping in time, Tesla bottoms out around October, and this time, it doesn't look back. It carries only those who pass the faith trial, and launches into a 2-year primary uptrend, charging toward the next trillion-dollar plateau. Mark Newton's script, in one sentence: February, watch the breakout. April, dare to catch the knife. October, buckle up. This is a targeted hunt, aimed squarely at retail psychology. Miss the script, and you'll hesitate in February, panic in April, and by year-end, watch Musk's rocket disappear into the sky, hands on your knees in regret. So now that the technical script is written, we arrive at the real question. What card does Musk actually hold that gives him the confidence to challenge Jensen Huang's $4.5 trillion empire? Is it really that fingernail-sized AI 5 chip? Can it truly dethrone Nvidia's H100? Let's go inside Musk's lab. You'll realize this isn't a chip upgrade. This is a physical revolution, launched in the name of revenge. Mark Newton calls $500 Wall Street's pledge to Musk. But why should greedy bankers bow to a car-building madman? Because they understand this was never an EV revolution. It's a declaration of independence from the entire chip supply chain. For a long time, Musk was in pain. Why? Because his lifeline was in someone else's hands. Training FSD required Nvidia H100s, tens of thousands of dollars per card, and you still had to beg for allocation. For someone pathologically obsessed with control and devoted to first principles, this kind of dependency is intolerable. So this week, Musk dropped a command that shocked Silicon Valley. AI 5 chip design must be completed in 9 months. Let's sit with that number. Even Nvidia or Apple, with tens of thousands of engineers, need 18 to 24 months for a flagship chip. That's the rhythm of physics. Musk says, I don't believe in it. This isn't just squeezing engineers. It's a declaration of war on industry inertia. If my evolution speed is 3 times yours, then in 3 years, we're not competing in the same dimension. You're crawling on the ground. I'm taking the vertical elevator. AI 5 is the lightsaber meant to shatter the ceiling at $500. So what makes AI 5 so powerful? Leaked specs suggest 2,000 to 2,500 tops, a 5 to 10x jump over HW 4.0. But specs are just surface noise. What Musk really wants is density. Think about today's autonomous driving chips. They're calculators. They process lanes and traffic lights. Musk wants something else. He wants to stuff a mini data center into every Tesla. Why such insane compute? Because Musk sees a future where Teslas aren't cars, they're wheeled robots. Optimus isn't a toy, it's humanoid labor to survive in the physical world. Dodging children, catching falling cups, guarding homes. You cannot rely on the cloud. Latency exists. Connections fail. Reality doesn't wait. Every robot needs its own superbrain. AI 5 is that brain. It frees Tesla from becoming a puppet dangling from Jensen Huang's cloud empire. And here, Wall Street finally recalibrates Tesla's valuation logic. They realize Musk today looks exactly like Tim Cook in 2020, when Apple ditched Intel and built the M1. A classic Apple moment. Why did Apple risk everything? Extreme efficiency, extreme margins. Generic chips are powerful, but they're off-the-rack suits, bloated, power-hungry, and expensive. Musk is replaying that magic in the physical world. Customization. AI 5 is built purely for FSD neural networks. Every transistor has a purpose, no fat. 2. Cost control. This is the killer. If you want to build 100 million robots, paying Nvidia thousands per unit is impossible. Self-designed chips remove. Middlemen, compute costs, collapse. That's the move Musk prepared during 4 years of ridicule. Not cars. A closed loop of algorithm plus chip plus hardware. Once formed, this loop delivers both unbeatable products and Apple-level margins. That's why Mark Newton dares to say, $500 is the floor. Future Tesla isn't a struggling manufacturer. It's a tech giant with industrial AI monopoly power, possibly the only company capable of distributing super-at consumer electronics prices across the planet. So, are institutions psychologically broken yet? Are they afraid of heights, or greedily accumulating? At this breakout eve, the battle enters its most brutal phase, psychological warfare. Let's step inside Wall Street's trading rooms. To explain their dilemma, consider a classic game theory setup, the crowded room. Room A, Nvidia and Microsoft. Packed, champagne everywhere. Everyone up 3x, 5x. Looks fun, but deadly. When everyone is profitable, nerves are stretched thin. One bad comment, one weak quarter, and everyone rushes the same narrow exit. That's stampede risk. Room B, Tesla, cold, quiet, almost eerie. 4 years of mockery chased away weak hands. Only die-hard believers remain. Now, imagine Mark Newton shouting, AI5 is real, gold bars inside. There's no resistance, only buyers. Capital flows like water to the path of least resistance. When trillions can't squeeze into Jensen's room, Musk's freshly cleaned room is the only destination. Traditional analysts will still block you with spreadsheets. Don't buy Tesla 100x pay. Toyota is 10 buy. That's why retail loses. They stare at the rearview mirror while Musk builds rockets. It's Bezos all over again. Amazon wasn't valued as a bookstore. It was cloud infrastructure. Today, Tesla's extra multiplies it for cars. It's pricing a 10-year option on global labor replacement. If Musk fails, the stock halves. If he succeeds, even 1% labor replacement. Global GDP is tilted $100 trillion. 1% is $1 trillion in net income. Against that, 100x PE is cheap. So when Tesla breaks $500, don't think expensive. That's when the option just gets exercised. Let me end with a mental exercise. It's February 22/6. Tesla rips 30% in a week to $550. Your instinct, sell. Lock it in. That's fear of heights. That's why retail never holds generational winners. But Mark Newton already gave you the cheat code. $500 isn't the top. It's the line between worlds. Below it, car logic. Above it, AI, monopoly logic. When the urge to sell hits, think of the crowded Nvidia room. Then, think of the madman stuffing data centers into cars. Your job isn't to sell, it's to sit on your hands. Because, in markets, the most expensive cost isn't loss, it's selling your Destinian second before dawn. At this crossroads between virtual and physical, Tesla's breakout isn't just a stock move, it's a new continent discovered. $500 is the counterfeit detector of an era. It tests whether markets can leap from soft AI to hard reality. The last 2 years were Jensen's era poems, pictures, romance. Musk is forcing AI into its engineering era. Factories.robots.work. That's real industrialization. All the cards are on the table. One choice is comfort. The other is the boarding pass. I'm XXX. No price predictions, only logic. Understand Musk's path from ridicule to reverence, and you hold the ticket to AI's second half. See you next time.